The Fight Show on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Underdog is hooking up new customers. Play just $5 and get $100 in bonus funds when you sign up with the promo code SGPN.
On November 22nd on DAZN, the lights of Riyadh shine once again. The champions return.
If you're not confident in boxing, you're in the wrong sport.
I would be just too much for him.
You gotta go all in or not at all.
It ain't going the distance, I tell you that.
Some will fight to defend.
If someone sign that contract, you will be terminated.
Others to dethrone.
I'm going to go out there and win this fight.
But all will fight for legacy.
Once I beat him, then I take over the 147-pound division.
And a seriously stacked card of boxing.
Every fight on this card should be a main event in its own right.
And executing that perfectly. Right in. That was a standout performance.
This is the Night of Champions. Headlining the night, Benavidez versus Yard. The light heavyweight division is about to crown a new champion, with two fighters relentless in their pursuit of that top spot. David Benavidez, the Mexican monster.
Since I was 14 years old, people would always look at me, laughing at me. When I was in the gym, before a sparring session, I was like, we're gonna beat this little fat kid. You know what I mean? He's nothing. I'd get in the ring, a monster comes out. It's been like that since I was a little kid.
And here comes Benavidez. Talk about breaking that with footing. And this is what he does. He brings the pressure, systematically breaks him down.
I knew I was gonna beat Morrell. I knew it was gonna be a hard fight, but I took the chances, I took the risk, and I went in there and then I schooled him. I outclassed him. I think that just shows what level of boxing I'm at. I feel like this is barely the start of my career because these next 5 years the game is wide open for me to take it, and I'm gonna show everybody that I'm the best and I'm gonna be the face of boxing.
Unbeaten, uncompromising, unrelenting. A two-weight world champion, now chasing new territory and hungrier than ever.
Because I know at the end of the day, once I get a fighter that's really hungry in there, he pushes me to the next level and he brings the best out of me. I'm really excited about this. I'm excited because now there's no room for anybody to run. Now nobody could outprice themselves. Like I said, I'm just going around and I'm beating the best in the division. And Anthony Yard, I think he's like ranked number 4, number 5. He's a great fighter, a veteran. He's fought a lot of great fighters as well. And, that's where we're going. Now we're just picking off the great fighters on the side.
But standing across from him is Britain's warrior.
The beast from the east,
Having this much time to prepare, I feel like it's going to be the difference.
Explosive, composed, battle-tested in the fire.
That was a big left hook, and another right hand. In the net is down. Anthony Yard puts him down with a shocking right hand.
Could not have been more clinical. It could not have been more of a statement tonight.
People are going to have their opinion. They're going to say, he's had 2 gold title fights, he lost or whatever. So, there's something in my mind. I just know this is it. Where I can genuinely take confidence from is I've seen my performance get better each time. Both of them fights were, came down to inexperience. I feel like I'm more experienced now, so it's exciting.
He's fought the best, and he's not done chasing greatness.
If I beat him, or in my mind, when I beat him, my stock goes up. I can look in the mirror in a different way now. It's a world title fight. Another opportunity earned. I think this is my time. I can't base me beating Benavidez off of my last 2 performances. So I saw an interview you done, and I agree with you. Yeah. I'm a realist. I think Benavidez even said it. Yeah, you'll see the best version of me yet.
And the move?
100%.
This is a test of belief. Power versus poise. Pressure versus precision. A war of intent with no room for retreat. Turning the spotlight to the co-main, Haney faces yet another world champion in Brian Norman Jr., moving up to the welterweight class. The belt may say champion, but the world is calling him the underdog. Haney's dominance still defines the division, something Norman Jr. hopes to overcome.
Yeah, I'm just a throwback fighter, and I want to fight the best fighters in the world, win, lose, or draw. You know, if a guy's better than me, he's better than me. I'm willing to put it all on the line every single time.
Devin Haney, the dream, a technician in motion. Still undefeated, still evolving, still searching for that one performance that makes him undeniable.
I want my name to be mentioned with the greats when it's all said and done. And my attitude has not changed. You know, I've been this guy since day one, since I've been calling out the guys like Loma and all the champions since at a young age. So, you know, this is really who I am.
He is the best guy at 147. So, you know, when I beat him, I become the best guy again at another weight class. So we did that with Regis. He's the best guy at 140. Went to 147, got the best guy again. And I'm ready to take over another weight class, a new weight class.
And across from him, a storm. Brian Norman Jr. Young, fearless, dangerous. An underdog with nothing to lose and everything to gain.
A lot of people think I'm just a power puncher, you feel me? But no matter what, it means nothing if you can't land it. I'm just too well-rounded, I'm too versatile, too diverse, and not just for him, just for any and everybody. If you want to brawl, we can get into that. If you want to box, we can get into that. Whatever you want to do, we can get into that. I'm not thinking about him, I'm just thinking about the man in the mirror. I know for a fact if I am the perfect me and the best me, ain't nobody seeing me. People say he is my kryptonite. You know, he got feet. He got a jab. I don't have feet. I don't have jab. At least that's what they say. So now this is literally that moment in my career where we finna hit that extra, that little flip over. So now this right here is exactly what I needed, and I'm ready for all of that.
For Haney, it's about legacy.
And this is just a opportunity for me to just to remind everybody that forgot, you know, who Devin Haney really is.
For Norman, it's about making one.
I'm still showing them still to this day. Y'all better underestimate me. And I'm finna learn all y'all something. That boy from the South is bad. I love a challenge. That's literally why I love boxing. That's why I go out and train every day. Can I do this? Can I do that? I don't know. But let me go find out. You know, he's the blueprint to beat me. Great feet, great jab. He don't get tired. You know, the boy work hard. He got a lot of heart and things of that nature. So, can I beat that? Well, let's go find out.
It's going to be a war. As soon as that bell goes, styles make fights. It's going to be...
Two headliners, one unforgettable night.
I don't know if I can say it, but I want a shootout.
But muscles don't win fights at the high level.
Ashley speaks out in the words, come November, I'm down to prove that.
Like I said, I like to go to war too.
This is Ring 4, the Night of Champions.
Because I'm going to walk through this one.
I proved to be at this level.
A lion and a monster going at it. You guys do not want to miss that.
Live from Riyadh, live on DAZN.
I know how I'm going to win.
What if I put you down?
He can't.
He's really a bum. I never even heard of this till 2 years ago.
Once again, the name don't matter.
Don't miss this fight. Tune in.
You are listening to The Fight Show here on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network, where we'll be looking at tomorrow's Ring 4 double main event, and we'll be touching on UFC as well at the end of the show. You can follow the Sports Gambling Podcast Network on X at the SGP Network. You can follow the Soccer Gambling Podcast on X as well. That is my X account. I'm the host of the Soccer Gambling Podcast, and you can follow me at SGP Soccer. There is a link in the bio of that X account at SGP Soccer where you can be added to a WhatsApp group. This will give you notifications as soon as I post a podcast, as soon as I post a YouTube video. It'll also give you free play winners as well. And it will give you offers to sign up for my lockbetting.com service. That is a service where I have delivered 149 months in a row of tracked and transparent profit. What that means is that I haven't had a single losing month in sports betting for 12 and a half years. Seems ridiculous, but it's true. It's a tracked and transparent fact, in fact, with every single spreadsheet publicly posted on my Instagram. So if you follow my Instagram, it's at LockBetting. There you'll find the betting videos I post on my LockBetting YouTube, the free plays that I post in the WhatsApp group. I also post a lot of them on the Instagram. It's also a place to contact me if you have any questions. I'm contactable via all my social media. My DMs are open across the board. But most importantly, there you'll find the publicly posted spreadsheets. The latest ones are posted there with the latest 3 pinned to the top of the page. They go to an adjudicator. Once they are verified, they're posted, and the members who have made this money by investing in sports with me every single month, teaming up with me and investing in sports instead of gambling in sports, they then verify those spreadsheets with their comments, likes, etc. And you can look through them and see the type of bets we do, the sports we bet on, and most importantly, how we sensibly manage a bankroll and still make a profit every single month, or at least we have done for 149 months in a row. The spreadsheets are for the ultimate package. That is my all sports package. I am on my way to another winning season in the NFL. Never had a losing season in the NFL. I am 11-0. I have had 45 winning Grand Slams out of 48, a 45-3 record. Never had a losing soccer season. Have won every single season in the Champions League. I make a profit in UFC. I make a profit in boxing. Whatever the sport may be, we are winning in it. And you can team up with us and win with us by signing up over at lockbetting.com. But I'm encouraging you, unlike these other cappers who will sell 5% plays and 4% plays, and they'll shout from the rooftops when they win, but you'll never hear anything about them when they lose, because they have no public records. They get to reset every single week, and you guys fall for it because you hand over your money to the likes of Doc Sports, Wager Talk, VSiN, all of these fraudulent services that are not making you consistent profit. They may do on some weeks, but when they don't, you'll never hear about it because there is no public tracked and transparent record. My public record is available, and it's available to see for everybody, and it is 12 years old, over 12 years old, 149 spreadsheets to prove the facts that we have genuinely delivered 149 months in a row of transparent and tracked profit. To prove the fact, I've never ever had a losing month in sports betting in 12 and a half years, and you can come aboard with the service. If you're listening to a gambling podcast, which you are doing right now, what do you have to lose by investing in this service for 1 month and seeing what you do? It's a transparent and tracked fact. We are making money every single month, and you can make that money too. Just try it for a month. You have absolutely nothing to lose. Before we move on to breaking down the boxing, which is what we are going to start with, let me let you guys know that you can gear up for the holidays by heading to the SGPN merch store. It's the perfect gift for the DGen in your life. Use the promo code HOLIDAY for 25% off everything, including the Refs Are Terrorists t-shirt. That is the most popular item. That is definitely a talking point if you wear it. I have one of those t-shirts, and if you want people to stop in the street and talk to you, wear that, especially wear it around Vegas, the Refs Are Terrorists t-shirt. But it's 25% off everything. Also, be sure to download that SGPN app. It really is the most easiest and convenient way to make sure you never miss any of our free picks or any of our free pods. If you're looking for free content from me, free picks, free podcasts, free videos, search for Lock Betting both on YouTube and wherever you get your podcast. The Lock Betting YouTube is posting free betting information videos, an EPL opening line report every single week, and the Lock Betting podcast is posting a free Bundesliga show and an NFL show every week. And if you click the subscribe button, you can get yourself bonus podcasts like the 2 Champions League shows, where we post a show on Tuesday covering every Tuesday game, post a show on Wednesday covering every single Wednesday game. Those shows close out with locks, and they have a 100% winning record this season, as we are 9-0, 100% for the Champions League locks. And you can get those locks by simply just clicking the subscribe button and getting yourself those bonus podcasts for a ridiculously low price. So let's move on with looking at tomorrow's main bouts on the Ring 4 card. We're going to start with Devin Haney versus Brian Norman. And in that promo video that we played, they were talking there about how Devin Haney was the favourite and how Norman had to upset the odds as the underdog. Well, that's no longer the case, because you are getting 20 to 21 odds on both of these fighters. It seems to me like the market has pretty much lost faith in Devin Haney, and that's not surprising given his last 2 performances. He remains undefeated, but we know that was because the result against Ryan Garcia was voided, but that does not erase what people saw. They saw a very vulnerable Haney, hurt badly by a left hook earlier on. He was dropped in rounds 7, 10 and 11 as he failed to get away from Garcia's honey punch, and Ryan Garcia was awarded a majority decision, and he did end up coming in to that fight 3.25 pounds overweight, and then he failed a doping test, which saw the verdict change to a no contest. So lots of stuff was against Haney there, but we still saw what we saw. We still saw a Devin Haney who was previously in the pound-for-pound conversation and widely regarded as one of the top 10 pound-for-pound fighters in the world. And for many in that top 5 conversation, we saw him humanized. We saw him vulnerable. We saw him on the floor multiple times at the hands of Ryan Garcia. And some people, especially casual boxing fans, might not even know that result was changed. And then we saw Haney return to the ring in May against Jose Ramirez. It was a awful performance, a stinker of a performance. Even though he won, it was a boxing match that was highlighted for how boring it was, how little activity that we saw, as Haney was happy just to get by with a win on the scorecards. And off the back of those two performances, people have lost faith now in Devin Haney. I mean, Devin Haney has always been a decision fighter. He's only got 15 wins by knockout of his 32 wins. 17 of those have come via a decision, but of course that one no contest now with Ryan Garcia. Brian Norman, he comes into this also as an undefeated fighter, but he has a much stronger record when it comes to knocking out his opponents. This is definitely going to be a clash between the knockout artist and the boxing pugilist here. Norman comes into this one with 28 wins, only 6 by decision, 22 via knockout, and he will carry a serious knockout threat here in this fight. I really don't know what to do with this fight. I don't know whether to jump off the Haney train or whether to look through this Haney record. Look at the names there, which are obviously far better than anybody that Norman has on his record. If you look at the two records, Haney's is definitely the more superior. If you go through Norman's record, you'll struggle, especially if you're a casual boxing fan, you will struggle to find any real significant victories on there, especially when you compare it to what Devin Haney's done. There are some huge names on the Haney resume, but how much of that is erased by what we've seen from Haney in the last 2 fights? If you believe not much, and you can look away from those fights and you can look at the Ryan Garcia thing and say, hey, that was a guy that was juiced up and someone who was overweight, and the Jose Ramirez fight was just Haney kind of finding his way back into boxing. This is still the same guy that beat Regis Prograis. This is still the same guy that beat Vasily Lomachenko, who beat George Kambosos twice. George Linares. This guy has huge wins on his resume. It's not like he's washed. There is an age difference between the two, but it's only 3 years. Haney's the older man, and he's only 27 years old, and only recently turned 27 just a week ago. So it just depends how much weight you put into those recent performances. A few years ago, this would have been Devin Haney around about 1-3, 1-4, minus 400 to win this fight, but it isn't on this occasion. The market has seemingly lost all faith in Haney. Even when this opened up, and the line opened up, Haney was a 4-6 favourite. He's now at 21-20. He's 21-21 rather. He's an underdog in some places. If you do take Haney, I'd probably only be looking at the decision market anyway, so you can even get yourself a bigger price by taking him to win via decision at around about 13-10 plus 130. If I was to take Norman, I would probably just take him as a moneyline pick here at 20-21. And that is what I'm leaning towards doing here. I'm going to kind of go with the market here and support Norman to pick up the win here, because I am massively concerned by what I've seen from Devin Haney. I think there are lingering mental scars from the Garcia fight. And if there are, Norman is the man capable of exposing them. He's 3 years younger than Haney. He's coming into this bout off the back of a brutal away-from-home KO of Jin Sasaki, and that is going to give him all the confidence in the world coming into this fight, whilst Haney, by contrast, looks like someone who's carrying the mental scars of the loss at the hands of Ryan Garcia. Now, if Haney can shut that out of his mind, then he'll be able to channel the old Devin Haney and win this fight, because he answers with craft and championship polish at his best. He controls the distance with his sharp jab, one of the sharpest jabs in boxing, or at least it was. He sets the pace, he builds clean leads, he shuts down momentum with precise footwork and well-timed clinches when need be. Even against top-tier opponents, he's been the one who's consistently been able to dictate rhythm, stacking up the leads with clean scoring shots, and he can turn 12-round fights into a tactical chess match, usually. But Norman, he can come in here, he can cut the ring, he can dig to the body, he can drag Haney into exchanges which he doesn't want, he can disrupt the rhythm, and if he can disrupt Haney's rhythm, he can find it easier to get into Haney's head at this point in Haney's career, where he certainly has suffered from losing to Ryan Garcia and looked like shit in his last performance. So he needs to come in here, he needs to put the pressure on Haney. He doesn't want to show any patience. He wants to come in, he wants to turn this into a tear-up. And Haney, he wants to dictate the fight like he would do. He wants to pick him off, score with cleaner touches, get in and out, keep the opponents resetting all of the time, throwing off their rhythm as he continues to slip away. Norman's power can threaten to flip the script here at any time. Haney wants to come in here and he wants to utilise his composure and accuracy, and he wants to command space and give himself a clearer path to victory here. So this is definitely an absolute clash of styles, and it may just come down to who comes into this one with more self-belief. Does Devin Haney believe that he can channel the old Devin Haney again and turn back the clock and erase two very, very poor performances, particularly the one against Garcia where he was on his arse on 3 occasions? If he's on his arse on 3 occasions here, he will lose his fight, because I can bet you that Norman will actually be able to put him out of there. If he's able to land 3 shots that put him down on his arse, then Norman will be able to find a stoppage. But if Devin Haney's able to reset the clock, if he's able to control this fight, and if Norman's not as good as his record suggests, because the opponents on his record are not comparable to Devin Haney, then Devin Haney will be able to grind out a decision here, and that will look like the best bet at around about 13-10 plus 130. But I'm going to go with the market. I'm going to go with Norman. I actually agree with the movement. I looked at Norman originally as an 11-10 underdog when these fights were posted up, and I was interested in him as a dog. I was not anticipating this line movement, but this line movement is justified because, like me, people have lost faith in Haney. The market agrees with my original assessment, and I did want to be with Norman here originally. Wanted a better price. It's not available, but it's not significant enough for me to change what I was going to do. So I'm going to take Brian Norman simply to win this fight at 20-21. The main event on the show, we'll see Anthony Yard challenging David Benavidez. Anthony Yard is a significant underdog though here at 7-1, with Benavidez as a 1-10 favourite. Benavidez to win this via TKO KOs at 4-6. He's 2-1 to win it via decision. Anthony Yard is at 11-1 via TKO KO, and he's at 20-1 to win this fight a decision. I think Benavidez gets to him, and I think he gets to him in the second half of the fight. Now, Anthony Yard has lost 2 title challenges before. He came up short against Sergey Kovalev and also against Arthur Beterbiev. Now, he is heavy-handed, and he did hurt both of those esteemed champions during those fights. I mean, they're no mugs to lose to. They are serious champions, and Yard came... I wouldn't say close to beating him, but he gave them problems. He hurt both of them, but the situation was the same for both. He had them in trouble, but both of them recovered, and Anthony Yard seemingly ran out of gas in those title challenges. And I don't see anything different happening here. Whilst I do think it will be a good competitive fight and Yard will have his moments, I do think Benavidez will stop him in the second half of the fight. I think Yard's best chance is if there is something wrong with Benavidez's preparation. Now, there is speculation this week that Benavidez is struggling to get down to the championship limit, even though he's a relatively new addition to the light heavyweight ranks. That would be good news for Yard. Although, if the preparation hasn't been perfect, maybe Benavidez will just double down on not wanting this to be a lengthy evening. And for our bet to cash, which would be to take Benavidez in rounds 7 to 12, we would need this to last at least 18 minutes. If they go to war, it'll obviously be a thrilling affair. I think both men will have success, but Benavidez's faster hands and feet, along with his superior punch variety, will see him retain his title inevitably here. We just want it to come in the second half of the fight so that we can land our selection. And my selection here will be to take Benavidez to pick up the win in between rounds 7 to 12 in the group round betting market. And this is available at around about 5 to 2. Rounds 1 to 6 is at 13 to 5. I do believe Yard is good enough to survive those. And as I said, I think he'll even have his moments. And Benavidez, having preparation problems, can go both ways. Either he'll want to finish this as quickly as possible, or he'll get dragged into deeper waters, and perhaps Anthony Yard may even be a live dog. But I don't see it. I think it's going to be third time unlucky. I think Benavidez gets him out of there eventually in the second half of the fight, so I'm going for Benavidez in the group round market in between rounds 7 to 12 at 5 to 2 plus 250 as my lean here for this one. Before we move on to looking at the two main bouts from tomorrow night's UFC, let me take this quick pause to let you know that we're brought to you by Novig. Novig is America's #1 sports prediction market, and it's available in 35 plus states. Download the Novig app and get $50 when you spend just $5 if you use our promo code SGPN. Get in on the action with Novig. Also, let me utilize this pause to tell you guys about Underdog Fantasy, your home for pick'em entries where you can win up to 5,000 times. Underdog's got a brand new offer for new customers. Play just $5 and get $100 in bonus funds when you sign up with the promo code SGPN. And finally, let me utilise this pause to tell you guys about Rhythm, who are crushing it in college football in the NFL, and they've also just added the NBA as well. Rhythm is giving away weekly cash prizes just for tracking your bets in the app. Simply track 5 bets of the same type from any model that you build, and you could win $1,000. So be sure to check out Rhythm. Use the promo code SGPN25 when you download the Rhythm app for 25% off your first month. So download Rhythm, spelled RITHMM, that's Rhythm, and use the promo code SGPN25 when you download the Rhythm app, and this will get you 25% off your first month with Rhythm, RITHMM, Rhythm.
Ian, the welterweight division has been front and center. People, all week long, it's been all the commotion. That does not slow down this weekend. What exactly does this opportunity mean for you, and what are you looking to prove here?
This opportunity for me is to go out there and cement myself as the #1 contender in the welterweight division. To cement that I am next in line for that title, and I'm Islam's next opponent. And also, it's a slap in the face to every single other welterweight and make them irrelevant.
Yeah, the face-off just now, I want to touch on that because Bilal seemed to get a little bit feisty out there, at least feistier than he generally is during face-offs.
I tend to get under people's skin a bit. I'm good at it.
Well, maybe that's what it is. But also, you did make a comment earlier this week. You said you thought that Bilal was putting on a front. This confidence really was just an act to really make up for the fact that he's beat up. Do you still feel that way?
I said it to him tonight. I said, don't lie to yourself, don't lie to the fans. I said to him, I looked him straight in the eye, I said, never in a million years could you stand with me. Don't lie to yourself and don't lie to these fans. And he said, we'll see. I don't believe a word of it.
I know that your goal is to stay one step ahead of Bilal the entire fight, but he has said that his goal is to put the pressure on early and get that early momentum. How do you make sure you keep the upper hand here?
You jab him in his nose and you bust his face up and you don't let him get going. Very simple. Every time he tries to stand forward, you punch him as hard as you possibly can and he won't come forward anymore.
I heard, you just mentioned Islam, I heard there possibly could be an appearance made by him this weekend. Okay, so will you have a message for him?
Absolutely. 100%, but it'll all be out of respect. I have nothing but respect for that guy, but he has to stand up and he has to stand on that throne and he has to fight whoever's next, and I'm next.
And what a great birthday gift that would be for you. You did just celebrate a birthday on Monday.
I did indeed, and what a place to spend it in. Qatar is absolutely beautiful, and I'm very happy.
Well, wishing you the best of luck. Can't wait to see the show you put on and Bilal puts on this weekend, and we'll see what happens.
I did tell him if he tries to stand with me, I'll wake him up afterwards.
So we move on to UFC in Qatar, and we are looking at Ian Garry versus Bilal Muhammad. First, Ian Garry is a 2-5 favourite to win this fight, and Bilal Muhammad is priced up at around about 2-1 plus 200. The over-under here for this fight, over 2.5, is at 5-18, with the under at 13-5. Ian Garry is priced up at 4-5 to win via decision. It's 5-1 for Garry to win via TKO KO and 9-1 via submission. Bilal Muhammad's at 13-4 via decision, 18-1 via TKO KO, 11-1 via a submission. Fight to go the distance is at 1-3 minus 300. This despite the fact that Ian Garry has been promising and predicting a finish. I like Ian Garry. I know Ian Garry personally, but even I don't think he's going to get a finish here. I think he just needs to win this fight, and if he wins this fight, it will lead to his biggest fight ever, because he will be the number one contender. He's already picked up a win over Carlos Prates, and that win is aged very well, because last weekend Prates went on to beat Leon Edwards. So there is no point doing this Battle of Britain or anything. The winner of this, especially with Rakhmonov out injured, should definitely just go on to face Makhachev next. I'm not sure that is a fight that Ian Garry can win, because Makhachev is just a different kind of animal. But this fight coming up tomorrow against Bilal Muhammad is one that I do believe that Ian Garry will be able to win. So I'm taking Ian Garry to win this fight. I think he'll get it done via decision. This has all the makings of a technical battle. Both men have well-rounded skill sets. Both can go on the feet, but ultimately this is a striker versus wrestler matchup. Bilal Muhammad would prefer to wrestle, and Ian Garry will prefer to keep it on the feet. This is the two departments where they are both more superior at. Whilst they can both do both, like Ian Garry has shown that he can wrestle and has the ability to stuff takedowns, he would prefer this to be a striking matchup. And ultimately, I believe in Gary's takedown defense. I believe that he can mostly keep this upright to suit him. I think he'll force Bilal Muhammad to walk through a lot of fire. And whilst Bilal Muhammad is tough enough to endure those shots because he is a former world champion, it will slow him down. It will lead to more strikes landing for Garry, just like in Bilal's loss to Della Maddalena. And ultimately, it will lead to Ian Garry winning these rounds and winning it on the scorecards. Now, Garry has predicted that he's going to get a stoppage here. I just don't see that happening. I don't see how he gets Bilal Muhammad out of there unless Bilal Muhammad absolutely just throws his game plan out the window and decides to engage with Garry and decides that he is going to go and have a stand-up fight with him. That will give Garry far more opportunity to stop Bilal Muhammad and actually come through with what he said he was going to do. If Gary's kicks are flowing despite the takedown threat, he'll be able to control the exchanges, outland his opponents. Whether that leads to a stoppage or not, I don't know. I don't think it will do. I think this is going to be a decision, and therefore that's what I'm going to go with. I'm going to discount what Ian Garry says, despite the fact that this is a fighter that I like. This is a fighter that I know. This is a fighter that I want to go on and win the world championship. Will I be picking him against Makhachev? Probably not, because that is a different animal, and I will need to see more from Ian Garry to genuinely believe that he can take the next step up. But I do believe he is the cream of the crop and the best of the rest in this division, and he does deserve the next shot, and he'll get that by beating Bilal Muhammad tomorrow, whether it be via the stoppage that he promised or via decision that I'm predicting. So my lean here will be to take Garry via a decision at 4-5 minus 125 here for this one.
Armin, it's obvious this is a massive opportunity for you. Number one in the division, main event. What is your mindset, and are there any nerves heading into this big fight?
Nothing. I'm confident. I believe myself. I know I'm going there and to show masterclass.
A little bit of hostility exists between you and your opponent. Explain to me what just happened during face-off. Did Dan instigate that headbutt, or was that you?
No, he tried to scare me, but no one can scare me.
And what does it tell you that he reacted that way upon seeing you like that on stage?
I don't know. He wanted scare me, and I automatically wanna kick his ass. You know, no one should try even to try scare me or to try punch me or whatever.
Well, I know you said that you are here to prove that Dan Hooker is not on your level. How exactly do you intend on doing that?
I got 25 minutes, but now I want to make him so tired and just cut his whole face and don't finish him too early. So I want to get his life, make him hard damage. That's my goal right now.
Well, I know you have a ton of confidence because you brought 300 people here to Doha with you. That includes your dad, here for the first time for one of your fights since your debut in 2019. How meaningful is it for you to have this type of support?
I mean, it doesn't matter. We're one-on-one in the cage, so no one can help you there. So that's why I'm always confident. Doesn't matter where is that. Yeah, of course, when my family is here, is way better. But on the cage, like I said, we're one-on-one, and you gotta prove yourself there.
Well, we know Ilia Topuria is here. Will you have a message for him following a win?
Yeah, I got the message, but after my win, I'll say what I want to say.
Arman, thank you so much. Best of luck to you.
So Arman Tazrukian takes on Dan Hooker tomorrow, where Arman is heavily favoured to win at 1-5 minus 500, with Dan Hooker available at 4-1. The method of victory market sees Arman at 5-2 via decision, 6-4 via TKO KO, and 3-1 via submission. Dan Hooker's at 9-1 via decision, 11-1 via TKO KO, 22-1 via a decision. And the fight to go to distance is available at 2-1 plus 200. The over-unders for this over 2.5 rounds, is at 4-6. Under is at 11-10. Over 3.5 is at 21-20, with the under at 4-6 minus 150. Over 4.5 is at 6-4, with the under at 1-2 minus 200. And to go to distance, yes, is, as I said, at 2-1 plus 200. For me, I think it's a foregone conclusion that Arman will win this fight, despite Hooker's prediction that he will take his head off. I don't think that's going to come to fruition. I think Arman will be the one getting his hand raised here, and relatively comfortably. That's not to disrespect Hooker. He is a solid fighter. He's been competing in UFC for well over a decade. At one point, he was ranked in the top 5 at 155 pounds. He comes into this one enjoying a 3-fight win streak, but he's been in this position several times before. Consistency is not his strong suit, which is why we're talking about someone who's been in the UFC for more than 10 years, but hasn't been near a divisional title shot. I think here, he's just basically being put in here as food for Arman to pick up a win en route to going on to where he's going to go next, which seems like it's going to be Topuria. So for me, it's just a case of how, not if, Arman gets his hand raised here. The way that I'm going to predict that happens is via a submission, or at least something within the distance. I think he'll get it done inside the distance, so that's what I'm going to be going for. I think when you look at Hooker's fights against the likes of Gamrot and Jason Knight, he gave up 5 takedowns to Gamrot, 4 to Jason Knight. He's going to give up probably even more to Arman here. It remains to be seen how he manages to deal with those, but I think that's going to be the deciding factor in the fight, whether that sways it towards Arman via the scorecards and that's how he gets it done, or whether he does enough damage on the ground to force a stoppage via TKO or even a submission on the ground. I think that's going to be the deciding factor. I don't think Hooker's going to be able to cope with it. Hooker's someone who has double-digit losses. He's been finished in half of those. Whilst he's a competent offensive wrestler with solid defense, he still gets taken down by the division's best wrestlers, and I would put Arman in that category, and I think he'll be able to find a finish. But ultimately, I think he will win, and that's what plays into my lock here on the show, because the lock here on the show is going to come from the UFC, and we are going to parlay together the two favourites from the main event and the co-main event. If you shop around, you can find Ian Gary at around about 1-2 minus 200. So shop around and find him at that minus 200 price and pair it together with Arman, who's available here at 1-5 minus 500. If you pair those two together, 1-5 minus 500 and minus 200, you do get yourself a 4-5 minus 125 shot. That is the price of Ian Gary winning via decision. And I'm confident that Gary's going to win via decision, but I'm even more confident that Gary ultimately wins one way or another, and that Arman also picks up the win against Hooker. So just pair these two together just in case Ian Gary does come through with his decision. He did seem massively confident about it throughout. He's constantly said, this isn't going to go to a decision, this isn't going to go to a decision. So that does worry me somewhat, but I'm not worried at all about these two outcomes. Ian Gary will win. He'll go on to fight Makachev. Arman's going to win. He's going to go and fight Topuria. Both of these do need to just overcome respectable obstacles, yes, but obstacles I do believe they can overcome. Landing us our lock here tomorrow with both these two fighters coming through and cashing for us in this two-legged parlay at 4-5 minus 125. Your lock here for this show. And that's it for me and this edition of The Fight Show. Don't forget to check out all of the other additional content posted this week. And head over to lockbetting.com. All roads should lead there if you actually want to make money from gambling and you are listening to a gambling show. Start investing in sports and be with a service that's never had a losing month. It's a tracked and transparent fact, and you can sign up for it by heading over to lockbetting.com. Good luck with all your bets as always, and thanks for listening.